Welcome back, Film Force fans. Get excited as we look back at all 18 MCU films in the countdown to Avengers Infinity War.
Scott, I need you to be the Antman.
Coming off Avengers 2, you knew Antman was going to be a much smaller film. And I was interested in it. I was looking forward to see it, but I wasn't expecting much, especially after the controversy of Edgar Wright being taken off it. He'd been planning it for years, and then Peyton Reed being taken on. And I didn't know Peyton Reed much as a director.
So, confession about me and Ant-Man. I only saw it in theaters. I haven't watched it since I saw it in theaters until yesterday for my rewatch. And this movie is a lot better than I remember it. It's a fun family Marvel film that kind of gives you a chance to break away from the overarching story. It's its own individual film.
Ant-Man is a fun superhero heist movie, but I really wish Edgar Wright was able to make it and not just have parts of his version in it.
But man, did I love this film. And what was so good about it, you could still see Edgar Wright's sort of influence on it, with certain scenes and certain things they did, especially with one of my favourite bits in it was Michael Peña's character and the way he retold stories using his voice but then over other people's mouth, and it just worked so well. It was a really nice bit of comedy that just you weren't expecting, and the way you went off on
he tells me that she's working as a housekeeper now, right? And she's dating this dude Carlos, who's a shot caller from across the bay, and she tells him about the dude that she's cleaning for, right? That he's like this big shot CEO that is all retired now, but is loaded. And so Carlos and Ernesto are on the same softball team, and they get to talking, right? And here comes the good part. Carlos says, yo, man, this guy's got a big-ass safe just sitting in the basement, just chilling. Of course, Ernesto comes to me because he knows I got mad demon skill. Of course, I ask him.
It's a lot of fun. I think that's the point of this movie. It's fun. Not everything needs to be pushing the overall narrative arc. Ant-Man is dope. And Ant-Man is a character I know very little about. I went into this movie not knowing a whole lot about Ant-Man.
That said, it's still a really enjoyable movie with some very funny moments and enough heart, which makes it a good way to introduce Ant-Man to the MCU. Admittedly, though, the plot is a little odd to me. I get that the suit makes you stronger, but is it really an advantage if you're the size of an ant? And the time it takes for you to get to the other side of the field, the fight might already be over.
Paul Rudd as Ant-Man was great. Paul Rudd is a great comedy actor, and he really did hold his own in this comedy action film. And what I liked about this was a smaller movie, a much more smaller. This wasn't world ending. This was just about a heist. Quite a heist on a big scale, but a heist.
And, it's a fun character. Scott Lang is great. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang is great. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Woo! Man, so good.
And the character they brought together from the mythology they brought by bringing in Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man back in the 70s. If you think about that, that is really intriguing. I'd love to see an origin film about that. But doing that and then having Paul Rudd play the second Ant-Man, Scott Lang, and be this criminal, be this, trying to be a better father to his daughter. I really liked his storyline throughout the film. And let's just talk about the action scenes. The action scenes using the size really well. The fact they can shrink, people think is a bit comical, but they made it comical, not in a way that wasn't stupid. It was fun. Fighting in the briefcase that was going back and forth in the helicopter, tumbling around, with these like sweets and other things flying about. That was really fun. You had him going underground with the ants. The ants were amazing. R.I.P. Anthony. The best fight scene in this movie, which is him versus Yellow Jacket in his child's bedroom. On that big train set, throwing the train, and then just just cutting away from it to make it like throwing a train, or being hit by a train track. Being hit by a train looks really dramatic coming forward, and then just cutting away the set, and you just see this train like fall off slowly. It's like It was so good. The editing on these fight scenes were brilliant.
The biggest flaw to this movie is they use the convenience of, I don't want to risk my daughter to not let us see the Wasp. That was a load of crap. Let us see the Wasp, man. It's like when you break down this movie, just let the Wasp do this plane, and you're good. She's a badass. Scott has to learn everything, so that kind of mucks it all up. So use the Wasp, and let them team up. Now, hopefully the sequel fixes that. The trailer for the sequel looks good.
Bits I don't like as much. I think they could have given a lot more to Evangeline Lilly's character to do. And I hope they do in Ant-Man and the Wasp. It looks like they are going to do that. But I think she was a bit underdeveloped.
The fact that Yellow Jacket isn't Hank Pym was also a problem to me, since that's what really makes the Yellow Jacket persona interesting to me, and without that, he ends up being a rather forgettable villain, despite a decent performance. It's still good, but not without its flaws.
But overall, I thought this film was really good. Paul Rudd stood out as Ant-Man. Michael Douglas did a great job as Hank Pym, but the stand-up star was Michael Pena as just a supporting character criminal. It was so good. And then you also had, you can't talk about this film without making the best cameo appearance by an Avenger, Falcon, just a minor Avenger, but one of my favourites. And by doing that, it tied it really well into the Avengers world without being like just a throwaway, like without shoving it down your throat, because it just felt natural. It wasn't the Hulk, it wasn't Thor, it was Falcon. It just worked really well pairing him with Ant-Man.
I like Ant-Man a lot. I think Ant-Man is a lot of fun. The humor is great. I think it's a fun movie. The big drawback is it doesn't push the narrative forward, really, but you don't need to. Just because it's a part of the MCU doesn't mean it has to always be about it. Have fun with it. Comic books are fun. Superheroes are fun. Ant-Man is fun. Hell, Yellow Jacket is actually a pretty good villain when you think about it. Rejected by the man who that was his idol. He tries desperately to find the secret. He gets that secret. He's a straight up murderer in this movie. He kills a lot of people. I like it. I like Ant-Man a lot. And I like it even more now upon rewatch. So go rewatch it. I'll give it Ant-Man a 7 out of 10. Bye, guys.
So I'd give it an 8, maybe a 7.5 out of 10.
So, for these reasons, I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10. There were so many good things about it, and it is definitely one with rewatchability factor.
Thank you for watching this episode of the MCU fan countdown to Avengers Infinity War. Make sure you check out everyone's links in the description below, and like and comment and share this video, and check out the video tomorrow. Until next time, bye.